So yeah, this is the entrance right here to that tailor shop. They have neat little sound effects going on, so if you sit listen, you can hear the sounds of people making clothing. Hello world, it's your Unkle Heavy. Today I'm on location in Greeneville, Tennessee. This behind me is the original home of President Andrew Johnson. Yes, we're here today to do another presidential home. We're going to take a tour of this building right here. There's a few other buildings of the property we're going to check out as well. We may end up finishing it off with a visit to his gravesite. It's a really exciting adventure. Another president's house. You know how much I love them. So, bringing you all along with us. No tickets required. Let's go see what kind of trouble I can get into. Do come along. Oh look, there's the Buc-ee's. Wait, Davy Crockett? No, that's not what we're here to see. Beautiful shots here of the clouds over the mountains in the distance. Welcome to Greeneville. So this is downtown Greeneville, Tennessee. I believe this is the place.
Your destination is on the left.
Yep, visitor parking. Greetings from Greeneville, Tennessee. There's a nice little creek here in this town. Nothing to really do with the president's home, but I thought it was pretty and should make the vlog. Here's a statue of the man himself, commemorating him in the center of this town, right across the street from his former tailor shop. So this is where we're starting the tour here in Greeneville. This was his earlier home when he first moved to Greeneville. Let's go. This is a self-guided tour. Let's go check it out inside. Looks like it's pretty much all displays here. Got the original fireplace, one original fireplace here, and one in that other room where Michelle is. I always do love the old hardware that they have in these buildings. Looks like a third fireplace. I believe there's an upstairs and a downstairs, but we can't go to either. So this is part of the complex here as well. Not the actual building, but it's a lifelike replica of the house he was born in Raleigh, North Carolina. Once again, I have to stop and look and see how tiny this house is. It's incredible. And once again, not much more than a log cabin in here. Entire families would occupy these places. Always fascinates me. A ladder going to the upstairs. But yeah, this is how you lived back then. You knew back then a fire was always going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year round. Because it's where you cooked your meals. Sure, the Raleigh summers weren't that great to have a fire going. Just arriving here at the visitor center, we have to go in there and schedule one of our tours. Look at this shot right here. Look at that beautiful steeple just poking up over the top of the visitor center here. Again, nothing to do with the president, but very nice to see. All right, let's check out the visitor center here. So a nice little visitor center going on here. So look, he even had a cane, similar to the one we saw in Benjamin Harrison's house. And this is really interesting. This is his tailor shop they have completely preserved inside this building. A real life iron. Before becoming the 17th President of the United States, Andrew Johnson began his humble beginnings here in this Greeneville, Tennessee tailor shop. During the 1830s, Johnson ran the successful business while hiring readers to educate him as he worked. The shop became a place for many local men to come and debate politics. When elected to his first political position as alderman, the shop became a place of many town meetings. He continued to run the shop until 1843, when he won a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. In 1921, the state of Tennessee purchased the shop and built the brick structure that it now sits in. Finally, in 1941, it became part of the National Park Service, where it continues to this day preserved for future generations to come and visit.
It always amazes me how they used to live or do business in a small building like this, but I guess for the time it was kind of expected, but it just goes to show how spoiled we are today. I mean, look at that. It's not much bigger than most people's garden sheds. Looks like this is an actual coat that was made by Taylor himself. These were his shears and his brush and pressing iron. Yep.
So this is the next destination of our tour today. This is actually President Johnson's home. We're gonna go take a tour inside there, but first I want to take a walk around the grounds and check it out here. And a postcard. So before we take our tour, I kind of want to take a little walk around the property. It's a pretty good sized property. I mean, we are in a very small city or large town here. You can hear the car noise around us, but this is a pretty good chunk of property, especially for its time. But yeah, here's a nice panoramic of the whole property. So just remember, he started off as a tailor before he became a politician. It's a pretty impressive house. So nothing to really do with the president, but this was sort of bordering the property here. This is from the Greeneville Historical Society. It's known as the Seth Babb Log House here. The presidential home is right there, so it's very close. I figure, we'll call it bonus footage. A little bit hard to see in here because there's no lights except it's coming through the window. But I guess that's kind of a more realistic thing of how you dealt with it back in the day, because you wouldn't be burning candles or oil during the daytime. Guess I'll have to do one of my cornering effects here. Just come around the corner and oh, there's this house right there.
The first room we'll be in is all the way down to the right, but with the almost a full tour, just go in and out of the rooms as y'all feel comfortable. You see both the rooms down here.
Pianoforte. It's very nice.
And this other room, as we walked into the left, is actually Andrew Johnson's bedroom and home office when he was 17.
This was his original bedroom and office. Right off the main hallway here by the front door.
Andrew Johnson was Abraham Lincoln's second-term vice president. And,
Again, in the corner you have a beautiful secretary piece. Love those pieces. And Lincoln and himself over the fireplace.
Is there from opposite political parties. This is one of the more unique elections we see in 1864. In our U.S. history, we actually have...
And a chamber pot.
In 1864, they got a bit smaller around. But when it comes to height, Andrew Johnson himself was 5'10". I mean, it's above average, and they just they built things
I love the ceilings.
modestly so that they can heat.
This would be Eliza's bedroom. A chair.
That's neat.
Very nice.
Eliza Johnson, some remarkable stuff. But as her room kind of reflects, she loved to read and write and sew. And sadly, she started having complications of a really prevalent disease during the
There's showing signs of his tailor background. It's a sewing machine. I miss this preserved behind the wallpaper on the plaster is actually graffiti from Civil War soldiers that were billeted in here during the war. Very interesting. June 26th, I can't read the year. But yeah, very. Someone wrote that how many hundred years ago? Some toys. Look at the little tiny bed. And that was the guest bedroom we were in before, connected there. This is part of an addition that was added later on.
Pretty close by, but
don't think that's a period piece.
So it would have been quieter but smellier, like with.
And this is the second guest bedroom. No fireplace. Interesting. There's a laudanum bottle there. That's basically opium. 2 lower bedrooms in the addition. The rocker.
So these last 3 rooms, including
Foot locker.
the last 3 rooms that we have, for a good reason. So it would have been down below this actually. So that
dining
kind of
area.
ties it all together and makes it all make sense. Is this was originally
Way
a
up.
kitchen with a pass-through to 69, it becomes their dining room, and another bedroom yet again. So
To check on that too. Looks like he was a Freemason.
And I don't think I'm
Down to the basement. So this is the last room. It was eventually turned into a kitchen after the Emancipation Proclamation.
It's really complicated.
The dining room is right up here, so it would make sense that this would evolve to become the kitchen. Interesting fact about this house now. Johnson didn't actually build this house. He found somebody building it at the time for his family and offered to buy it from him. And one of the reasons they said is this marker right here at the time was the border of the city of Greeneville and the regular county. So he made sure to buy this house here. He wouldn't be subjected to the taxes of the city of Greeneville. So always the businessman. So you know, any presidential visit can't be complete until you visit the gravesite whenever possible. But I have to show you this view from the cemetery. Look at this. We are right on the top of what seems like is the highest point of this town, overlooking the town like this. As we had to drive up this, it was kind of scary, but the view from up here is just breathtaking. Yeah, there's the road up here. This is kind of a scary blind curve. Just over there in the distance, we've got the Smoky Mountains looking at us. This is where you want to spend eternity, I'm telling you. This is amazing. Unfortunately, although this is a veterans cemetery, it is no longer open to new graves. It is completely filled. And we were told it is one of the last cemeteries that's actually run and maintained by the National Park Service as well. Very, very unique. Once again, just wow. Just wow. And here you have it. Here's the final resting place of President Andrew Johnson with his wife Eliza. Andrew Johnson Jr., his son, is buried here as well. We learned that his final wish was that he wanted to be buried with the Constitution under his head, as well as having his body wrapped in an American flag. And that's just what they did. Looks like around this gravesite there's other descendants of the Johnson family. But yeah, they always do make really spectacular presidential graves. Unfortunately, President Johnson was not favored much by the Senate of his time. He's not one of the more well-known presidents either, but he did his part at the end of the Civil War. And if you're not familiar, like I always suggest, check it out. Look at the history of this president and see what he did do. I always like to say, I'm not a professional historian. I'm just some guy who goes around to cool places with a camera. So don't always take my word for it. Do the research, check out the history. You'll find it pretty amazing. As with other cemeteries, you'll see how they've got these stones all very lined, pretty cool. That whole Arlington effect, I like to call it. I'm not sure what they technically call it, but I call it the Arlington effect. I say this a lot when I go to presidential graves, but what's so fascinating about it is kind of like a celebrity meetup, only not a living one. Still very cool to do. I think with that, here's a great place to end this video. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I really enjoyed making it. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to stay tuned. I have so many more adventures coming very, very soon. Until next time, I'm signing off from Greeneville, Tennessee. Bye-bye.